I immediately texted Sean and was like, we're going to give you some turkeys.
Well, it appears some men just showed up and started cutting trees down, man. I guess they need wood.
You hesitated before you said Bermuda grass.
Well, I was fixing to cut some a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, I do the same
It's hard
thing.
not to.
I'm not on the Yeostead today. As you can tell, I'm at Two Turtles Homestead, where I'm joined by Jim and Kathy, who have graciously let me come and acquire some turkey poults to add to our flock. Now, these turkey poults will be primarily for eating, but Kathy and I were talking, I may hold on to one or two to breed with Lenny. I don't know, what was it, 2 months ago? I was worried about Lenny not doing his paternal duty. He's definitely doing that now. And so I know he can breed on his part. So Laverne's been laying a bunch of eggs. Maybe I have another one that lays eggs too. So either way, I think what I'm gonna do is get 5 or 6 poults, if that's okay with you guys.
Perfectly fine
with us.
So
we have plenty.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna go in, take a look at what they've got going on in here, which is really awesome. Take a look at some of those poults. And I brought this cat carrier. Kathy and Jim, I don't know if this will be enough. I got a second one just in case.
That'll be fine.
You think this will be good for 5 or 6?
I think so. They're not very big.
I've got a second one in case I need it.
You know,
If
man,
you need it.
if you need it, we can do 3 and 3.
Okay, you know what? I'll bring up the second one and then we'll go in here and we'll take a look at what's going on.
Okay.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Now, Kathy, this is a specific paddock that you've created just for Mama Turkey, which is Shirley, and her babies,
Yes.
correct?
So we created this paddock specifically for turkeys. So both the Lennies and Shirley and Laverne were all 4 in here when we first got them. And then as the years went on, we kind of, did some rearranging over there. And but since Shirley had all the babies, we definitely then gave this back to her because it's large inside there and she can get up on the roost and she likes it.
Now, when you say both the Lennies, you're also talking about our Lenny too, right?
Yes.
But so this is Shirley,
Yes.
and these are her babies. Now, Kathy, you got to tell me the story of how you came across these babies.
Okay, so Shirley and we thought the same thing about our Lenny that you thought about your Lenny. That
You were concerned.
He was concerned that he, because somehow he would stand on her head, and we're just like, that's not it. So I collected some of her eggs, which I hatched 5 of her eggs, and they're over here somewhere. We can get a look at them later if you want. But they're twice the age of these.
Okay.
But then we discovered that Miss Shirley was laying eggs down by Jim's shop, and she laid 14 eggs down there, and she sat on them for months. And we thought, well, how are we going to get her off of them? When's she going to give up? And then Jim came out one day and discovered that she had hatched 13 of those eggs. And of the 13, sadly, or thankfully, we have 11 left. So, and you're taking a
So it was a surprise basically from, we've got a broody turkey hen. When is she going to leave these eggs? Are they rotten? And then all of a sudden, Jim comes in one morning. He's like,
yes.
Guess what? We got a lot of turkey babies.
And so then we had those 13 plus the 5 plus the 2. So we had 20 turkeys. I immediately texted Sean and was like, we're going to give you some turkeys.
Knowing how much I love turkeys, not just for meat, but for companionship as well. They're friendly animals.
They are.
There's no way I would turn that down. So that's what brings me here today. So I think what we're going to do, I've got both of my cat carriers in place. Kathy and Jim are flanking either side of me here. I think I'm just going to go in and try and gently pick up one at a time.
Yes.
And put them in. thank you. I would shake your hands, but I think I got pooped on.
That's fine.
Sorry that you had to part the mama
It's kinda
with her
sad, but
babies. It's sad.
We'll get used to it.
But as you mentioned, she probably won't even notice by
She
tomorrow.
won't by tomorrow.
Yeah, she'll
When
be
Once she
fine.
stops
when
hearing
can't
them,
hear 'em,
I think it'll be
she'll
fine.
forgive
So,
them.
all right. Well, thank you guys.
All right, we'll let
If
you
you
go.
haven't already checked out Two Turtles Homestead, I'll have the link to it in the description below. Please go check it out.
Yes.
Awesome channel, awesome people. But yeah, we're gonna take these guys home. It's been a day since we dropped off the turkey poults here, and their first night was great. We'll check in with them real quick, but before we do, I wanted to show you the breast chickens. As you'll note, they're out and about. I did clip their wings. There was a concern that they'd all fly over the fence. I even had some fly over the fence in front of me on the last video. So I wasn't quite ready to let them out. But I went in and clipped their wings, and it's been a few days now that I've had them out, and they've been doing great. They've been hanging out in the grass when it's cooler. Right now it's hot, it's in the 90s, so they're staying in the shade. I know a couple of people asked me, like, how long are you gonna keep them trapped inside of this shelter, especially as they're getting bigger? Not long. All I needed to do was clip their wings, and they're doing well. But anyways, we got a lot going on today. There's gonna be some, not construction, there's gonna be some trees getting knocked down. Nana's got an update for us in the garden. And before I get to all that stuff, I did wanna show you how the turkeys are doing, how the young turkeys, the turkey poults are doing. I think they're great. Let's go check on them. Hey gang, how you doing? So night one was a success. I was a little bit concerned where they would roost. I don't like for turkeys to sleep on the ground, if at all possible. So I built this kind of makeshift just a 2x2, sat in some cinder block holes just as kind of a temporary thing until I can get something bigger built. But only 2 roosted there last night. The other 4 roosted up here. They flew up there and roosted up there. And I have a feeling that they'll continue to roost up there until they get too big, which with turkeys, a few weeks, they'll be too big. There might be one that fits up there in a few weeks, and that's it. So I need to, one of my next steps with the turkeys is to build some sort of semi-permanent roost structure in here. How long am I gonna keep them in the A-frame? What do you think, Lenny? Do you have any advice? Lenny thinks a month and a half, and that's kind of what I'm thinking too, usually around 6 weeks. Give them time to get used to the flock, give them time to get used to the smells and the sights. And by that point, there's enough of them to when I do let them out, they won't get too mercilessly bullied because they have strength in numbers. One thing that's interesting, Laverne is on her roost right now. Laverne looks a lot like their mom, which is Laverne's sister, Shirley. So anytime Laverne walks past, they freak out and start gravitating towards her. Laverne, unfortunately, doesn't really care all that much about them, at least the sense that I got. There may come a time when I put Laverne in here with them to see how she takes to them. That would be very closely monitored. I'd stay in here with all of them. I would make sure that she didn't attack them or freak out on them. That's something I may try in the next few weeks because, you know, Laverne may take to them, which would be great. Then they got their mama. Technically, Laverne is their aunt. You catching all this, Lenny? Technically, Lenny's their uncle, actually, too. So I think next step, build something that's a little bit more permanent for them to roost on for the remaining time here in the A-frame. Nana Jenna, you're going to be planting some zucchini today, right?
Look at these zucchini beauty babies.
You've been growing these over at your house,
Yep, in
right?
the kitchen window.
In the kitchen window.
We're holding off on squash because of the squash bug attack, and we're hoping we can get a better yield with a later start.
Now that we're in mid-July, let's give it a shot.
Yep.
There'll be, I was going to say a fall harvest, but maybe a little bit earlier than that.
Late summer and into fall.
And into fall.
We should have some zucchini, and we're going to do yellow squash next into the freezing times, maybe.
Yeah, so you're putting zucchini here. We got 3 holes. 1, 2, 3. And the bed looks great.
That looks
Thank you
great.
for helping
This is where
dig this
you
out.
This is where you had your cover crop,
The
of
buckwheat.
and stuff. It came up nicely and everything. And so basically I only had 2 Bermuda grass.
Oh, you
roots
hesitated
around the
before you
edge.
said Bermuda grass.
Well, I was
'cause-
fixing to cut some a little
yeah,
bit.
I was gonna say I do the same
It's hard
thing.
not to.
Well, thank you, Nana.
You're
I'm
welcome.
excited.
I'm going to try to create some little wells around them. So like when you water, you're going to get some little moats
Yeah.
to hold a little more and keep it from spilling out and keep your water a little more directed. This time of year, it's more important.
What's going on, Dad? Over in your house?
Well, it appears some men just showed up and started cutting trees down, man. I guess they need wood. I don't know. No, your mom and I made a decision that there are a couple of trees that are close to the shed, so we're a little bit concerned about that. But primarily, what we're looking to do is put a kind of one of those metal carports in, since we use the garage for all kinds of other stuff. Our cars have just been sitting out in the hot Tennessee sun, just baking, yeah. So looking to put a carport in that particular area, and we just didn't want all those branches hanging over that carport. So I decided to bite the bullet and get a crew in here to take those 2 trees down.
So, Dad, it looks like...
The deed is done.
So, what do you think? Are you happy with this?
We're very happy. Reasonable price. If anybody's looking for, in East Tennessee, I'd recommend these guys.
What's their names?
Alex Blanks.
Alex Blanks, A-L-I-X.
Blanks.
Yeah.
All right.
Just a shout out to those guys. They did great work in and out of here, punctual, cleaned up really well. So, yeah.
So what's next? You're going to call out some people to quote getting the carport
Yeah,
here?
we'll do some shopping around. We're not looking at anything fancy, just kind of the, well, you see them all over the place, just kind of the metal carports. Just something to keep our vehicles out of the
sun, because the pole barn is occupied with shop
yeah,
equipment.
we got all kinds of stuff going on in there. So,
Nice. Okay, so pole barn, you're thinking right about here, yes?
carport, yes.
Or, sorry, pole barn.
Yeah.
Carport, okay.
Yep. Yeah, and without the trees there, we're not worried about either them falling or big branches landing on it. The sycamore, we just love this sycamore. We've got a couple of big ones here. We didn't want to drop that thing. It's just too nice.
It's going to get a lot healthier now with these other trees not impeding on it too.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, glad I could help. Glad.
Yeah, appreciate your help.
Glad the tractor worked.
Yes.
And
yeah, it works as advertised, man.
Yeah, and Lenny's keeping an eye on things, isn't he?
Yep, he's vocal as always.
Awesome. All right. Well, next stop, carport.
Great.
lot of people point out that I'm often clearing brush that seems to be waist deep in poison ivy. And I've responded to those individual comments usually, but I'll address it here too. I'm pretty sure that both Holly and I are immune to poison ivy. For as far back as I can remember, hiking, doing brush work, even in shorts, I've never once gotten a poison ivy rash, not once. And I've certainly brushed up against it, been surrounded by it and covered by it, and it's never affected me. Do I still take caution and take note of poison ivy? I try to, because I don't know what Henry's status is, our little boy. Maybe he's immune too, maybe it's a genetic thing. I don't know. I mean, just looking around, I'm sure there's poison ivy in this little patch that I've cleared out. So it is something that I do pay attention to. I try to take note when I see poison ivy or poison oak, even though it probably doesn't affect me or Holly. It might affect Henry, it might affect Nana or my parents. It's just that for whatever reason, Holly and I seem to be immune. Anyways, more brush clearing is getting done, more knocking down trees. That seems to be the story of this channel in the past few months, is that we've been doing a lot of clearing stuff out. Kind of the chapter that we're in our homestead at the moment is just clearing brush. And I gotta say, it's rewarding. I like doing it. It's something I enjoy doing. These trees, these little scraggly trees, I'm glad that they're gone. It does open this area up some more. I still need to clear this area out, but I'm pleased with the previous brush that we cleared. Longtime viewers may remember that I planted sunflower seeds from a bag of bird seed a couple weeks back, and as you can see, they are jumping up. They're doing very well. We are getting so many sunflowers. This is a very healthy sunflower patch. I can't wait till the sunflowers get nice and big and start to kind of poke their flowers out. We'll see when it happens. But anyways, it's been busy. There's been a lot going on here. We've been getting a lot done, and we thank you for hanging out with us. We also want to give a special shout out to Jim and Kathy from Two Turtles Homestead for those turkey poults. Like I said at the beginning, if you haven't already, I'd definitely encourage you to check out their channel. The link to their channel is in the description below. I'd appreciate it if you checked them out, and if you resonate with their stuff, they put out really good videos. Subscribe to them, support them. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with us as always. And until we see you again next time, remember, as always, slowly, slowly.